Oh, hello, everybody. Welcome back to our weekly Subspace Developer Sync. This week, we'll be getting updates from everybody on progress that was made in the last week and what we're planning on working on this week. To start off, give an overview of last week. We were able to get Gemini 3C stabilized. Nazar did an amazing amount of work, actually over the last couple weeks to get us there. So now next steps are to begin to roll out to our ambassadors, I believe starting with our technical ambassadors this week, and hopefully, pretty rapidly have this out to the community. It does look very stable. I've been successfully running a farmer all weekend, and the errors and a lot of things we were seeing have kind of gone away. So that's great. Looking forward a little bit this week, we'll begin working with SR Labs on our protocol implementation audit. So officially kicks off Wednesday. I think we'll be doing a call with them. A few of us will be doing a call with them, kind of just to get everybody on the same page. Thank you, Nazar Luchang, for helping me get some documentation ready for them. I did get to focus last week a bit more on the handbook. Still would like to see some engagement on the learning sections from some of the team. So I think learning Subspace and learning Substrate, a bunch of you are pretty experienced at. So if you could just get in there and add some tips or just really anything, and I'll aggregate it into more of a guide once I have some stuff to work with. That would be great. I did this last week start working with Danielle on updating, making some kind of a significant updating to the hiring process, which I'm pretty excited about. That'll make it both more efficient and more scalable. Be great going forward. This week, continue working on the handbook, hiring process, and then getting to hang out with Jeremiah at East Denver. So that'll be pretty exciting. All right, I said I was going to offload the joke of the week to somebody else, and then I never got around to doing that. So I had ChatGPT work on this one for me. And I think it highlights an interesting, the deficiencies of ChatGPT at this point. So why do programmers prefer dark mode?
Because they can't see sharp.
That is actually, I've seen that one, but that's not what I'm going.
Light FX bugs.
Yeah, but that's good. I think that's what they were trying to get at, but it said because light attracts syntax errors. So not sure that ChatGPT was making that connection with bugs, or if it was taking it another clever step further. But I thought that was kind of entertaining. So, all right, Nazar, I know you've got a lot you've been doing. So,
yeah, on this call I will not go into that much details. I think the most important advancement is that the patient we call Gemini 3C is less dead and more alive at this point, which is nice. There were quite a few improvements over last weeks, and thanks everyone for helping, for testing, reporting, and so on. It was a team effort. And this week I will focus more on the consensus again. There were some changes last week I had to revert. There were some unexpected issues, but we are making progress on that front. And I think there will be much more updates on that specifically this week. There are still some tickets, new tickets created on the networking side, but I think Shamil will be mostly working on those going forward. And the blockers are kind of sort of the same as before. Primitives for consensus. There are some things that Daria shared. I think I can work with those. And for others, we'll see. Either I or someone else will work on them. But yeah, the primary focus is consensus 2.3 going forward.
great to see that kind of getting started. Shamil.
Last week, I mostly worked on the block importing. I also managed to merge PR related to the recent announced pieces cache. And I started working on the segment reconstruction for some missing pieces in the DSN. It's a work in progress. This week, I'm going to finish all the pending work and probably start working on the custom protocol for peace announcements. We are probably try to go away from basic cademy operation for that. That's it.
All right. Rahul.
Yeah, so last week I synced with Nazar. After our initial block proposal had some issues which required changes to substrate. So we figured out on a way where we can achieve the same thing without touching substrate. So I can put out the proposal, and I got a approval or soft approval from Nazar and Jeremy, and I started working on the first change. But looks like we still have some conflicts to resolve. Jeremy had some comments and about like why we are doing something. So maybe we will need to, three of us need to resolve the conflicts. I'm pausing the implementation for now. Once we get a green light on all the friends, I will resume it maybe tomorrow or something. That's my current plan. So either we can resolve talk about it after the meeting, or Jeremy mentioned like I should first write down the reasoning. I can do that and maybe schedule a different meeting tomorrow morning or so that we can go over the points. What do folks prefer?
Let's have a short discussion maybe after this meeting to kind of figure out what the exact next step is for you. So.
Okay. Yeah, that's mostly from me.
Lu Chang.
Hello everyone. So last week there are a few minor updates on the code side. One is to make the confirmation depths configurable. The confirmation depths under DevNet has been changed from 100 blocks to just 1 block. I also created a PR to add a check in the bundle. One bundle verification to ensure the bundle was not created from a permission fork. The PR still needs some revision though. The other time I was primarily working on the fault-proof side to collect the existing fault-proof materials, the current status of our fault-proof implementation, and trying to sort out a plan for fault-proof in the near future. It's still a work in progress. I'll probably share the documents tomorrow. The focus of this week is to flesh out a plan and next steps for the fault-proof, and maybe also make a chapter for the exact rewording. Yeah.
Great. I look forward to seeing that document tomorrow. Ning.
Hi everyone. Last week I had working on the R issue of the semi-bundle efficiency. I have a PR for it, and also most of the time I'm working on the document about the domain testing framework. And within that I had 2 proposals to make writing integration tag in domain more easier. The first one is to mount the primary chain in a way that is more easy to manipulate, like creating a fork or the auth as we want. And the second proposal is introducing fail point. And fail point is something that we can inject some error or some logic, some behavior into our program at runtime dynamically. And in this way, we can creating something like some specific corner case to testing. And for this week, I will working on the prototype of this testing framework. If we got some positive feedback or got approved, and I will also working on the intrinsic weight calculation, which is missed from last week. And I also see NASA had a PR to upgrade the substrate dependency, which I will working on that based on that. Yeah, that's my update.
Great. I'm excited to kind of dig into this testing framework. I haven't, I did a quick glance of it. I'll look at it closer this afternoon. But if like Lu Chang and Ved, if you guys could also take a look at it, it'd be great. Get some feedback on that. All right. With that, Ved.
Hey everyone. Last week, mostly worked on the client side of the verification changes that we've started out with for the messenger. There's a PR out there that's readily finish up the client side. We have a few more changes to be done on the runtime, and on the post runtime, we have some more relay changes to be done. That would be our primary focus this week. Get those in, get those changes on the runtime, on the relay in, and also had a small discussion with Lushang on the fraud-proof scenarios. We identified one more that we might have been missing out on. I think he's currently focusing on that, and most likely we would have to integrate some of these verification functions into fraud-proof as well once those changes are in. That's pretty much it for this week.
All right. Parth.
Yeah, so from my end, last week I opened a PR for the Light Client Palette Plus Primitive. Currently, it's a low impact PR. It is not integrated with, like, basically there is no domain or runtime at this moment in that PR. Apart from that, the PR had some issue with dependency on the Windows NTFS file system, which was resolved. And apart from that, I completed the new runtime, which was trivial. This week, I'll be pushing to get the PR merged and open subsequent PR for runtime, and as well as I will start working on integration with CLI for the same domain, as well as testing of.
All right. Stefano, product.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. So I think that most of the work last week went on the readiness for Gemini 3. So what I did was to rally the product engineering team and put together a list of what should be done and checked every time that there is a new release of Gemini. So when we release Gemini 3 to the community, the products will stick to the new release, and we'll have some testing done. The other half of the work is around the Explorer. We were discussing on when to launch the Explorer. I have also some date that will be disclosed soon enough. And I also went a bit more in the weeds in understanding how the data structures and the queries and how the Explorer is actually working. This has two utilities. One is make a better Explorer, and the other one is to adopt the same principles for the other products. So how to use the Explorer as the guide to release products at Subspace. And then I will now let the others from the product engineering team to get more in details on the work done on these products.
Cool. Yes, that's a good transition to Serge.
Hi, everyone. So on Block Explorer, I have added dark mode for the UI and found a new issue on Gemini 2 Squid. It seems like an old issue, but old fixes do not work anymore, do not help. So currently I'm investigating. For now, I submitted PR to update dependencies, subsquid dependencies. Maybe that will help. I was also experimenting with Next.js, which is a server-side rendering framework for UI applications. It's React-based. Currently, we're using like a minimal setup. So I will share more details on that on the next upsync. And I started working on finalization of end-to-end tests, which was blocked by update on the Subspace node. Currently, I'm having issues running a local DevNet, and I had discussion with Nazar, and Shamil will take a look when he's available. On the status page, CI issue was resolved after my PR upstream was merged. And currently, the updated version is available on GitHub pages. However, the domain like status subspace network, it points to somewhere else. And I wanted to sync with Justin before I change any DNS record. Yeah, and for this week, I will do some UI adjustments that I was discussing with Stefano earlier, and some investigations for further enhancements before the Block Explorer release. That's all.
Great. Natasha.
Hello, everyone. Do you hear me?
Yep. Yeah.
Last week, I spent some time reviewing the GitHub issue with end-to-end testing on the Block Explorer. I find a bottleneck on how much can I improve the query. So I decided for now to remove some of the end-to-end testing that were blocking that PR, and also decided to add more unit tests that cover that part in order to merge the current tests that we have. And also I started to review some server-side components for the UI in order to improve that part and the loading state for those pages as well. And for this week, my primary goal is to merge all the tests and also start working on the separate domains by network URL, and also work on putting together the epic for Block Explorer and the tasks needed to finalize the launch when we have the date set.
All right. Yvonne.
Yeah, hi guys. So last week I mainly followed the updates from monorepo and like imported all those fancy changes from the core team. So yeah, also apart from that, I discovered like a bug which was related to substrate syncing. I mean, like essentially test on SDK side didn't work, so I had to fix that. Apart from that, I also decided to add DSN plot syncing test for the SDK, so that we could like plot some blocks and test that we could sync those on another node and farmer. So yeah, everything is working on that. So apart from that, I did some CI tweaks. After that, I also simplified DSN on the SDK end. Yeah, and like spend some time on testing SDK and CLI on Gemini 3C. As of this week, I will do some further testing and also have all of the updates from other repo. Yeah, and we'll test the graceful closing of the farmer node. So yeah, I tried to like just restart node and farmer, and that didn't work. App crashed or something. So I'll spend some time more on that. Yeah, that's it on my end.
Ozgun.
Hi everyone. Last week there was a bug with CLI about the plotting progress bar. It was not continuing smoothly, so I fixed that. I also made a listing of the chains, the available chains during the init step. So now we are displaying all the available chain names. The reason for that was I confused myself with dev and devnet, so that now we are listing all the available chains. And fixed some other bugs related to CLI and tested it finally, and it was working for both on the dev side, devnet side, and Gemini 3C. We got that good. And after following the latest updates from the monorepo and SDK, today we released another version of CLI. I tested the latest version of CLI from the source code. The release was not finished, I believe, before this meeting. So after this meeting, I will download the GitHub executables and then test it on my machine. Along this process, I reviewed a lot of PRs from Ivan and finished the reviewing CLI product brief from Stefano. Also created a product testing list with the help of the whole product team, thanks to you guys. Goal for this week is, as I mentioned, testing the new executable for CLI and some self-education with books and courses. And on top of that, if everything goes well with CLI, if it's stable, I can again take on some additional responsibilities. And I believe that's all.
Great. Did you? I think I lost track of it during the week last week. But your article you were working on, what's the status on?
The status is it's fine. Like from my end, it's finished. And Yvonne asked me to fill up some more details for the marketing side. I supplied the details. She was thankful. And as a bonus, we met with Alexander. So yeah, and he did the design for the cover. Probably he will do the designs for the graphs that I used inside the article as well. But that's all.
Okay, cool. Daria.
Hey. So I have last week opened a couple of issues for the consensus implementation with some preliminary what I think the API should be, and a few examples that I hope Nazar can start working from. We have also bootstrapped a research category on the Subspace forum and already had a few posts and some really fruitful discussions. And it is going to be our main open research platform, public, going forward for thoughtful thread-like conversations and considerations, open to also external people, of course. It's public. We have conducted a small research workshop. Chan has went to Jeremiah's Hacker House, and I have connected online with a few more people. We have discussed few open questions, some potential attacks that we have taken care of. We have brushed things up and starting security review. I think this or next week. I have sent all the materials to SR Labs and Supranational. And I have tried to play with implementation a little bit to provide better support for the implementation going forward. This week, I will continue answering questions from Nazar on the implementation side, from other researchers and our auditors on the consensus side with Chen. And I will start preparing for big and all-encompassing blog over the new consensus, which is going to go after Ozgun's write-up.
Cool.
Thanks,
a lot
Daria.
going on.
I just wanted to add a few things to that. I think it's a good update, cover most of it. Daria, I just wanted to clarify for the group. So we did have three additional PhD cryptography researchers, people who have experience in blockchain and cryptocurrencies, and specifically proof of space and erasure coding and things like that. And there were no new attacks that we weren't already aware of. Things like proof of time or randomness beacon-based attacks, which we're going to be handling in the next iteration of the protocol, but there was no specific attack on the dilithium consensus or the proof of space construction itself, which was really great. Actually, we had some good feedback on even ways to improve the construction or simplify the implementation even. So that was really good milestone to achieve. And what we're doing now is Chen, in collaboration with these the researchers, they put together a strategy or like an intuition for a formal proof of security. And we have a pretty good idea of what like the problem statement and the proof statement should look like. And they're going to be working now over the next few weeks and maybe even months to actually formalize the paper so that not only does it describe the consensus, but it can provide a proof of security for the consensus. And then we will get that published in a journal. That might actually break out into several publications. So this is a little bit longer term, but this is on the roadmap. In the immediate near term, we're going to be starting a security audit of the protocol, not of the implementation, but of the protocol with SR Labs. So this is independent of the protocol implementation audit that we're doing. They put together a special team of people to go in and try to figure out how to break this protocol. And we're going to be starting that audit with them probably in the next few weeks. And then we're also going to be doing another study with Supranational on the ASIC resistance of the construction, so that we can try to start parameterizing how much memory hardness or memory bandwidth hardness we need. And on top of that, we're also working with some other people in some introductions have been made to some people in the hard drive space, people that manufacture SSDs that are experts on the hardware and software controllers for SSDs, so that we can talk to them and get some feedback on one, what the right implementation is going to look like in terms of what is the best, sort of most efficient, like page size, block size for doing the audits. It's going to be as lightweight on the SSD as possible for in terms of just like energy efficiency or wear and tear on the SSD. And then also kind of theoretical conceptual discussion around, like, could you build a special purpose hard drive, which would be better or like cheaper at farming for this. So we're basically exploring all of the avenues here over the next few weeks to try to cover all of our bases and get a really comprehensive understanding of how this protocol will play out over the next few years. So that's all very promising, and be on the lookout for more updates with respect to all of that.
A lot going on the research side, so it's exciting. I believe we made it through everybody. Did I miss anybody? Any final thoughts? All right. Well, we will see everybody back next week. Bye.